Hey friends, Steve Guttenberg here, and I am most definitely the audiophiliac. And my question for today is, how do we know when something, whether it's a speaker, an amplifier, a cable, a cartridge, how do we know if it's better and not just different? This is like the question, really. This is the nitty-gritty. This is what it's all about. And the answer is, this is not an easy thing to do. But here's the thing. You know, if you go to the opposite end and you listen to something that's really bad, let's say like a table radio, right? A table radio is bad because it makes everything sound the same. It makes everything sound small, limited in its dynamic range, limited in its frequency response. So that consistency of smallness is always there, which is a way of identifying it as not just different, but worse than a full-size speaker, let's say, or an actual stereo system, right? So if you compared a table radio to a stereo system, you'd say, well, the table radio is definitely worse because it sounds tiny, it doesn't have any bass, blah, blah, blah. So there's kind of what it's all about. So when you're listening to something, all of your music starts to sound similar, let's say it's all very bassy and full, well, that's a bad thing, because some of those recordings have more bass than others. But if the bass fullness, tightness, and everything tends to sound similar from one record to another, and remember all those records were recorded in wildly different conditions with different engineers and different musicians, if the bass is sounding more and more similar, it's worse. If every record, the quality of the bass, the definition, the airiness, how deep it goes, how full it is, if it tends to sound very different from record to record, I would say that's a difference that's for the better. Same thing with dynamics. A lot of recordings, not just current recordings, but recordings have always been, some are far more compressed and dynamically compressed than others. So when you have a system that lets the dynamics of each recording come through, again, that's a difference for the better. And it's the same with, let's say, mid-range, right? If all the vocals on every record tend to sound the same or similar, that's not good. If the vocals from one recording to the next sound very, very different, because again, recorded in wildly different conditions, with different microphones, different mic preamps, vocals should sound very tonally, let's say how real they sound, should sound very, very different from one recording to the next. So I think you get my point. It's all about the differences. The more different one recording sounds to the other, even if it's the same band but a different session or different album, those differences should be very clear. And the more clear they are, the better, not just different, the speaker, the amplifier, the cable, the cartridge, blah, 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 are. Getting there, that's not so easy. But I'm just putting this out there as a rough guide to distinguish between just different, because every speaker certainly sounds different. DACs can sound different. Phono cartridges definitely sound different. So it isn't just, they're all different sounding, but ones that tend to make things sound more the same are the less good ones. Anyway, that's it for today. My name is Steve Guttenberg, and I am the audiophiliac. Feel free to leave comments. Please do. If you like my spiels here, come back often, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.